I called my boyfriend when a rainstorm hit and the water flooded into the underground garage. Help me. Levi, I'm stuck in the garage. The fire escape is locked. On the other end of the phone was Levi's impatient voice. Ji-yun, you've had enough. Manling's cat won't come up the tree, we're busy. Against my pleas, he hung up, took a nearby rescuer to save a cat, and cut off all my life. The water in the garage quickly rose, the safety tunnel was locked, and I climbed onto the roof, leaving my phone with only one battery bar. After Levi hung up, the phone turned off, and I was devastated and screamed, "Help! Help me!" Looking at the monitoring overhead, I brandished it vigorously, hoping to attract the attention of the monitoring personnel. Unfortunately, no one ever found out. The floodwaters came in, little by little, until they swallowed me. Choking and pain filled my chest. I looked at the necklace around my neck, pulled it off, and then lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes again, I was floating on the ceiling of the garage, and there was a cry from outside, "Hello? Is anyone there? Miss G." The property manager brought people in through water and mud, and they froze when they saw the safe passage. Who locked it? I don't know. It's always open, and besides, it's not our lock. I floated in the sky and looked at the manager's face, a little gray. My heart was cold. Someone wants me dead. Find someone. Ji-yun. Ji-yun. They know I'm stuck in the garage? I was curious, and the spirit followed. The community I live in is a new property. The property is still very dedicated. During the rainstorm, the property management staff reminded me that the garage was flooded and asked me to move the car out. I think about last year, the garage flooded, and a lot of cars got hurt. My car is new this year. I hear the news. I can't wait to go down. As a result, once in, the water is overflowing to the calf. I went over to drive out, but I didn't want a sudden rush of water in the garage, so I turned around and ran. But the safe passage was blown shut. I can't get it open. Now I know. It was someone disgusting locked the door, who in the end, want to let me die. My soul drifted out, only to find that there were already many rescue workers outside. The orange coat stood out, and I looked for Levi's figure in it. He is the team leader of the city's rescue brigade, just arranged to patrol nearby at any time to rescue. It's just that today, unfortunately, he took all 7 or 8 members of the team. The ambulance came, and when they knew I was down there, they rushed to help. However, the underground garage was flooded. The water depth is more than 3 meters. The property manager they are rowing in, the bottom of the foot is silt, step on a foot to sink into. Rescue was difficult. No one knew where my body was. And at this time, Levi arrived late. He rushed with people, followed by Manling. Brother Levi, is something going to happen to her? It's my fault I delayed the rescue. It's okay, she knows a little thing to trouble me. The rain days issued a notice not to go out at home. She won't be stupid enough to go out at this time. Levi, without thinking, the oncoming is his immediate boss Chen Team. Seeing him, Team Chen's face was not worried. You are the closest, half an hour late. Where did you go? Team Chen, it's all my fault. My cat ran out into a tree and Levi helped me find it. Manling looked innocent and carefully followed Levi behind to explain. Team Chen is even more angry. Li Wei. Do you know? Somebody's dead. This time, for whatever reason, I will punish you. Levi's face was so ugly. I didn't expect anyone to come out in this weather, and I didn't expect anyone to be trapped in the underground garage. Don't dawdle, Team 3 is all in. We know that the missing person is a female, 24 years old. The exact location is not known. Team Chin gave the order, and all the rescue workers entered the garage in full gear. At this time, Shui Manling pulled Levi brother, it's dangerous inside, let them go in. How can this work? I am the group leader. Good, you wait for me outside. Just after the voice, Shui Manling was pulled aside by the Chin team. The idle people, do not delay the rescue. Please retreat to the police line outside. Facing the Chin team, Shui Manling stomped her feet, but still stood aside. I laughed, Sherman Ling, because Levi's the only idiot that would buy that, and anyone else would never talk to you. I followed Levi into the garage. By this time, the mud had reached the thigh, and a grown man could not move, let alone me. Unfortunately, they don't know exactly where I am. And I just found out that the underground garage cameras are down. Property managers saw my WeChat help only to know I came down. And my car is in section D, which is the back of the garage. Levi's side of the team pulled out a leg, gasping, Levi, your girlfriend is also in this community? Did she? No, Jiyun knows the female competition all the time, so she won't come out. But she didn't call and say she was stuck. Livy pressed her lips together. No, she just said that on purpose because she knew I was with Manling. She's trouble. When Yen, his team members, did not speak, I smiled in the side. Am I in trouble? That's the first time anyone's ever called me trouble. Yes, I am not as sweet as Shui Manling, but I am used to independence. After the first time I asked him for help and he refused, I never bothered him again. Until today, I just couldn't handle it, and he saw it as a problem. Levi, if you knew I was dead because you hung up on me, would you regret it? More than 40 rescue team members and property staff were dispatched together. After 10 hours, the property manager finally found me. At this time, my body was swollen, and the mud filled my nose and mouth. He shivered and pointed to the human figure in the mud. It's her. I was attached to a car sign, so I didn't sink, but my body was already covered in mud. Hearing the sound, the rescuers were excited, stepped on the mud and brought a stretcher, and pulled me out completely. After the stretcher was put on, everyone could not help but bow their heads when they saw my terrible condition, especially Team Chin, who took a deep breath and waved after a minute of silence, and everyone carried out together. At this point, Levi and his team arrived, and they all picked me up and took me out. Levi shook his head. Why is this time in the underground garage? People with some common sense can't come out at this time, it's a pity. They carried me out, then a gust of wind blew. I do not know what happened, my hand suddenly drooped down, the chain in my hand came into view. Levi just turned away. I couldn't help but smile bitterly. Levi, you see, we really have no tacit understanding. If you turn around, you'll see that I'm the one who's dead. This necklace you gave me on my birthday, 2 years of dating, the only gift you gave me. When I died, I was already disappointed in you, and I didn't want anything to bind me, so I pulled it down, and I won't haunt you anymore. Unfortunately, Li Wei did not see it, but Shui Manling on the other side gave a shiver and rushed over. Li Wei brother, hard work. She took out a tissue to wipe the sweat off Levi, whose face was covered in mud. It's not hard. It's what we should do. Shui Manling added, I don't know what she was thinking, coming to the underground garage at this time. Good words are hard to persuade the damned ghost. We have done all we need to do, she herself. After hearing this, Team Chin angrily said, Stop. Livy, say it. As a rescue worker, do not say these things in front of the dead. This truth, I do not need to remind you. Also, this punishment did not run, go back to me to write a review. On what grounds? Shui Manling is not happy, Levi brother is to help me, so he is late. Lives matter, Levi, get back to the team and we'll settle. Team Chen looked at Shui Manling again. I also hope that Miss Shui will not waste public resources next time. Your cat is lost. It is your guardian's improper care. Do not free your cat. Let everyone revolve around you. Chin Team has never had a good face to Shui Manling. I also can't stand her staring at other people's boyfriend brother, so every time I see I am bullied, I always remind Levi to scold him. But he is not an elder in the end, just the captain, so he said several times. Levi did not listen, and the Chin team did not say much. Only this time Team Chin couldn't help it. Shui Manling was so said by him, suddenly angry. Li Wei Gu, why did he say so to me? Okay, Manling, he is the captain, you don't talk here much. I go back to the team, you also hurry back. He patted Shui Manling, but Shui Manling held him back. You came to my home, I cooked soup for you at night to make up for it, but also to thank you for saving Yuan Yuan. Yuan Yuan was her ragdoll cat. Levi nodded after thinking about it and then turned to call me. But my cell phone is dead and has been turned off. Levi's face flashed a hint of displeasure. Still play this with me, I tell you. Don't want to pick up, then simply never pick up. I sighed. It really will never come. Levi, are you happy? He severely pinched the phone back to the team. Arrived at the office. Team Chen is a reprimand. Knowing that in order to save the cat delayed half an hour, Chin team could not bear it any longer. Levi, public and private. You must not treat all the personnel as your personal property. Half an hour, if you had come earlier, the child would not have died. I will report this matter, and you will be punished. It doesn't have to be so serious. Levi was shocked. I just had another mission. Who gave you the task? Are there records? Levi was speechless. There's no record of Shui Manling looking for him. It's not even a phone call. Me, the real estate contacted them when they heard about my accident, and Levi was half an hour late. If I'm 5 minutes late, I won't die. Li Wei was scolded by Chin team and rushed back to write a review. For hours later, my body was cleaned up, and the property management confirmed my identity and sent the relevant information. Chin team got the information when suddenly stunned, he quickly ran to the office. I saw Levi hurrying out. Levi, where are you going? Ji Yun. Don't mention Chin team. Ji Yun with me to play a temper, cheated me to say trapped, and shut down. Do not know what she made. Just finished. Chin team handed over a piece of information. This is the deceased information. You have a look. Why am I looking at this? It's not me. Before the words were finished, Levi froze. He looked at the text on the data, shook his hands, stared wide eyes, and for a long time said, No. It's impossible. It's not her. Well, you'll see. My body has been cleaned and taken to the funeral home morgue. Levi stumbled over to show his ID, covering his mouth and tears in his eyes as he saw me being dragged out. Ji Yun. He wanted to reach out and touch it, but he didn't have the courage. One side of the staff took out a box. This is the remains of the deceased. You have a look. He brought it over, saw the necklace, and burst into tears. Team Chin followed and patted him on the shoulder. Levi, I don't want to say much about this, but you said that she called you to say that she was trapped? Where were you? Levi fell to his knees in agony and wailed. And Team Chin sighed. If I had known she called you, I should have beaten you to death while I was over there. Team Chin pointed to his nose and shouted, Levi, you are not worthy to be a rescue team. You will be suspended from work today until this matter is resolved. The staff asked about my family. Chantim shook his head. The child is an orphan, no family. This is my number, anything to contact me well. Chin left her phone number, and after the staff took it and looked at it again, Levi whispered, I'm here to keep her company. Unfortunately, there was a rule that he couldn't sit on a cold body, and the staff pushed me back into the freezer. Levi came in to grab me, but the Chin team pinned him tight. Are you crazy? Calm down. You want to make her die. Ji-yun is gone, dead. Livy, calm down. No, she's not dead, she's just a little twee, how could she die? Team Chin, you let me go, I must ask her, exactly why. You don't ask. Team Chin slapped him in the face. What did you say when she asked you for help? What are you pretending to be now? I looked at the side especially relieved. Chin team played well. I'll hit you more. This son of a bitch is clearly the one who did this to me, and now he's pretending to be innocent, and he should be beaten to death. I was grinning from ear to ear, but the slap from Team Chin seemed to wake him up, and Levi staggered to the ground before Team Chin dragged him away. You son of a bitch, I tell you, you will take care of things later. Levi's whole person like no spirit, do not know how to go back, until his mobile phone lights up. It is Manling calling. Levi, why don't you come? The soup is ready. If you don't have time to come, I'll bring it to you. Smell speech, Levi suddenly reacted, and immediately refused. No time to work overtime this evening, you don't send over, I am not in the mood to drink. What's the matter, Levi? Did I do something wrong? No, you're doing a good job. I'm just not in the mood right now. And then he hung up, and Levi put his hands in his hair, and it was hard to believe that I was gone. He hid in his office, reading my death report over and over again. Suffocated to death, in fact, he knew that if he had come a while earlier, I would not have died. Now Levi was caught up in remorse, and he raised his hand and slapped himself several times so hard that his face became red and swollen. I could not help shaking my head after looking at it. Now I know that it is wrong. What is the point? I'm already dead, and you're not gonna bring me back. Forget it. But I leave my affairs to you, and you must help me to look beautiful. Forget it. Don't let you come, although I have no family, but I don't want you to touch me again. I took a deep breath and tried to leave, but I couldn't. And what did Levi suddenly think of? Cell phone. That's right, the phone. He quickly contacted Chin team, learned that the safe passage was locked. Levi decided to give me a fare, but the phone soaked in water has been unable to use. Chin team through the property to give him the mobile phone. After Levi took this, rushed to the mobile phone maintenance department. Knowing that the phone was soaked in water, the maintenance staff said that it was difficult. After all, they could not do all the recovery. Levi suddenly sighed, directly took out a wad of money. As long as you can recover all the data, you bid. The man was frightened when he saw him like this. What are you? My girlfriend is gone, drowned. I just want to see her old photos and records. This phone is very important to me. Please, please. The maintenance staff also nodded. Okay, I will try. Levi was sitting in the shop, but it would take 3 days to fix the phone, so he had to go home. When I returned to my rental room, I found Manling standing at the door, still carrying a thermal insulation bucket. Livig, I called you many times, did not answer the phone. I am afraid of your accident to come and wait. How nice, Livy, to have such a confidant by your side, so you don't have to worry about my inquiries every day you go home. Because of what happened between him and Manling, every time I saw him coming back late, I would grab him and ask. Because he is always wrapped in Shui Manling's favorite perfume that as long as I smell, my mind will explode. I grabbed him and asked him to make it clear, Levi, we love 2 years, you said, will come back to accompany me. The result, you went to Shui Manling. Livy is impatient. How can you be so stingy? Manling lives here alone. She doesn't know anyone. Their water pipe is broken. I go to help. Your heart looks dirty on everything. I also met him because he saved my life, and then I saw that he looked good, so I took the initiative to pursue Dot. Now in his eyes, I am the kind of shameless, take the initiative to cling to the shameless dirty woman. Shui Manling still denied, it is impossible, how could I harm her? Livy, you are terrified. I also feel very sad about Ji Yun's death, but you can't put all the shit pots on my head because of this. Levi, you really let me down. She is about to cry, but Levi frowns. I cannot help but smile. Is it my fault? I deserve to die? Livig, I know you love her, I don't blame you, but people still have to move on. Ji Yun has gone, the living people will continue to live, but you rest assured, I will always be with you. Levi slumped on the sofa and didn't know what to do. But when he saw Shui Manling's appearance, he suddenly laughed. How could I be so stupid? I should have guessed. Is it true that you will confess when the fingerprints are matched? Now go down and be with her. With that, he grabbed Shui Manling's neck directly. Shui Manling, you die. Levi. You let go. Looking at Levi's hysterical appearance, she knew that she was afraid. That's when the Chan team comes. Knock him off. You're crazy. Do you care about Ji Yun's affairs? Shui Manling was taken away, and Levi cried bitterly. He didn't understand why. He contacted Shui Manling more than a dozen times, each time to see him as a delicate bite of a liwega. Sweet and understanding, which makes me hysterical at home, like a bitch. Levi felt more and more attracted to her, but the day the truth was revealed, he was deeply disappointed. I couldn't help laughing as I stood by and saw Levi in this state. Levi, it probably never occurred to you that I died at her hands. In fact, Shui Manling and I have not met several times, and every time we meet, we have to be cynical, so I try to avoid arguing with her. The point is Levi's never been on my side, which is why I hate running into this woman. Out of sight, out of mind, but I didn't expect to die in the end in her calculation. Before the trial, Levi went to see Shui Manling. Why hurt Ji Yun? She never bothered you at all. Shui Manling gnashed her teeth. I just don't like her. What's the big deal with an orphan? Why want to rob you with me? Levi, you clearly have a good feeling for me. It is for the so-called sense of responsibility, so you do not abandon her. You did not refuse my friendship. Why? You said you wanted to break up with her. Ji Yun is haunting you. In that case, I help you solve her. Isn't it good? Levi was shocked. Crazy, you're crazy. After hearing this, I felt a shiver all over my body and did not think that Levi had said that about me and Shui Manling's side. No wonder Shui Manling's eyes were wrong every time she looked at me. On the day of the incident, she pretended to be Xiao Li of the property, sent me a message to let me down, and then locked the safe passage. But just want to teach me a lesson, did not expect the underground garage water came so fast, suddenly drowned me. She was afraid, but not daring, and wanted to see what Livy would do, so she pretended to get her cat up the tree and called Livy. The cat took half an hour so long that I was already dead by the time Levi and his friends got here. At this time, Li Wei looked at her and wanted to strangle her. Shui Manling laughed. Killed Ji Yun also, have you? Livy, you are the real murderer. Ji Yun died in your hands. If you get there early, it will be okay. It is you who personally pushed her to the edge of death. If I were Ji-yun, I would never forgive you. Levi immediately broke down. No, it's impossible not to. Ji-yun asked you for help, and you hung up on her, so you have to take full responsibility for this. Shui Manling roared and finally laughed as she was sentenced to life in prison for negligent homicide. Levi staggered out. I looked at him outside this look, nodded. In fact, Shui Manling said is really right. The culprit is Levi. If he is not swinging between the two girls, how will Shui Manling heart of sin? When I met Shui Manling for the first time, Levi came back and talked to me, saying that this girl is very lively and bright. It is not easy to make a person outside. Let me a lot of tolerance. But he did not think, I am an orphan, a person has survived for so many years, I am also very independent, why Levi cannot see it. After Levi was suspended, this matter was also blown out by netizens. It was the property manager. I saw him expose it on the internet, breaking the news that Levi's negligence led to my death. The rescue team kicked him out, and the day Levi came out, he was surrounded by a crowd, and a rotten egg hit him in the face. But is you this unfaithful man killed Ji-yun, hit him. Levi was caught off guard by the egg, not thinking that the first person was the child he had saved. The child looked at him and cursed, shameless, fickle, it is you who killed Sister Ji-yun. I can see that. I saved this kid from being chased by wild dogs downstairs, and he remembered me, and he remembered Levi. Did not think that in the place where I cannot see, there are so many people for me to fight injustice. Levi was pushed by everyone, by rotten vegetables and rotten eggs. Someone called the police, and after the police arrested him, they saw that the initiator was a few children, and did not say anything, and they put it back after a meal of education. But for Levi, they did not have a good face. After being released, Levi was walking in the road in a muddle-headed way. Suddenly a car came and hit him. He was knocked more than 10 meters away. At the hospital, Levi's legs were broken. Because it was raining at that time, he dumped in the garbage can. Sewage ran for 2 hours. The wound was so infected that he had to amputate his leg, and he could not stand up in this life. Levi's parents were crying their eyes out, and Levi was sitting in a hospital bed, like a soulless corpse, saying he got what he deserved, and he didn't blame me. I sneered, how can you blame me? It's clearly your own fault. Imagine how helpless I felt when I died in the underground garage. At that moment, I also wondered whether it was a mistake to be with Levi, but I don't regret falling in love with him. I only regret that I can't stand the test, Livy, and this time I'm completely free. No worries, and you don't owe me anything. Thinking this, my soul suddenly floated out of the hospital. I was surprised to find that I was able to separate from him, and I smiled, finally can go elsewhere. After Levi was hit, my funeral was organized by the Chin team, and citizens came out spontaneously, and there were flowers under my rental house and in the underground garage. The Emergency Management Center also timely released the safety knowledge of the rainstorm underground garage, and how to save yourself when the garage is flooded. I hope that my death will bring more awareness and that there will be more good and less evil in human nature, but human nature cannot withstand discussion or test. Shui Manling will usher in her sinful life in prison, and Levi will also spend the rest of his life reflecting on himself. I walked out to meet the sun, watching the people holding chrysanthemum to pay tribute to me. I smiled, goodbye in the next life. I hope I am still a girl who loves to smile.